We read in the Bible that when Jesus prayed, it was his custom to go to the Mount of Olives or other prayer places to be alone, just himself and the Father. It says he did this as usual, or as was his custom. So we have this model in Jesus' prayer life of solitary prayer, going alone, just you and God, by yourselves, meeting with God, conferencing with God, just you and him. It can happen when you go alone that burdens and fears and anxieties that have been covered up by the incessant busyness of this life come to consciousness. It's hard then for some people to be alone because of all these things that come up in their mind. I like how Henri Nouwen describes this. Nouwen writes, when we have removed our outer distractions, we often find our inner distractions manifest themselves to us in full force. We often use the outer distractions to shield ourselves from the interior noises. It is thus not surprising that we have a difficult time being alone. The confrontation with our inner conflicts can be too painful for us to endure. Nouwen then says, this is precisely what makes the discipline of solitude so important. That is, we've got to get time alone to detoxify, to declutter, to clear away a space in our hearts that's filled up with so many anxieties, fears, worries, concerns, and so on. It's in solitude that these things get burned away. This is one of the reasons why Nouwen calls solitude or solitary prayer the furnace of spiritual transformation. If solitude is a furnace, what gets burned away? And the answer would be these worries and fears and burdens that accumulate in our hearts. And the busyness of our life only serves to cover these things up. They're still there. In solitude, we can discover them. Then, as it says in 1 Peter 5, verse 7, cast your burdens on him, for he cares for you. In my spiritual life, in my prayer life, solitude, solitary prayer with God becomes a constant cleansing, a constant detoxifying of stuff that's been accumulating in my heart.